We hadn't even gone live yet.
Oh, God.
There you go. We're live
yeah, I was
now.
trying to find it.
Yeah, we've just gone live. I've just realised we weren't even live and we're chatting. But yeah, we're like I say, I want to start getting out with Jace. The only problem is, soon in this heat, as soon as I walk like 10 feet down the road in this heat, is killing me.
Yeah.
Okay, we should all be back now and having normal audio, hopefully.
All right, Tom.
Hello.
I say hopefully. Are we all? Can you all hear it? All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So what we'll do for this session, if you want, Sam, have you got your spirit box set up?
I can use the same camera to focus on the spirit box rather than me, so you can see the spirit box if you want.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll just come out briefly in that, and
Yeah.
I'll be back to you in a wee second.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to try and find some way of because that's run through NDI on Skype on what's it, and that echo. I need to find out how to get rid of it because it gets a problem sometimes for some reason, and I don't know why. Can't work out why it starts doing it. Yeah, the echo should have gone now. Hopefully now we're on StreamYard. It's just that I can't do the psychic quiz on here because you literally cannot call all that stuff up to do it with.
Do you think that it's to do with, even though we have YouTube muted, do you think having YouTube open at the same time as Skype is putting an echo on our end?
No, what's happening is when one of you's talking, it's feeding your voice through all your audio feeds back into my computer from all three of you at the same time, and I don't know why it's doing it. The NDI should actually split the audios as well as the videos, and for some reason it don't seem to be splitting the audios at the moment. It's pushing everything. So basically, instead of having 4 of us talking, we've got 8 of us talking, and that's why we're getting that horrible echo all the while.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, I'm gonna have to look into it and see if there's some. You know, we may have to do it on Zoom or something next time.
Yep, we can do that.
But I'll find a way. You know, because we only need to use Streamlabs once a month for the psychic thing anyway. After that, we can basically go back to using the normal stuff, using this or whatever.
Yep.
That's 2 lovely jars of pebbles, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm enjoying my rock tumbling. You know, you get rough stones and you put them through the tumbler and put them through the polisher, and then you come up with something that you don't expect. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Have any of you seen the reports that are coming through on the UFOs this week about the US government again?
Oh yes.
Apparently, there's even more stuff that they've got that they're trying to hide now. So it looks like we're about to get another big reveal off the US military regarding UFO sightings.
I kind of hope that we do. I'm really curious as to find out more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was another one in Russia and a couple in America. But again, as we always been asking lately, since all this became quite the norm, why now?
Mm-hmm.
And to what purpose are they releasing it?
What are they distracting us from?
Now
go on.
Yeah, that would be the question. It's a distraction from what's coming. Oh, did you read the articles right across multiple sources how the coronavirus was actually funded from the American CIA? Yeah, from the US CIA to China to develop it as a weapon.
Yep.
And it did get loose out of there, but it was funded by America.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, they claimed at the beginning that it was, it was sent from America to China anyway for them to continue working on. But
yeah. Well, I reckon patient 0 was 2 American tourists that went to China.
Mm-hmm. Now, Jack, we've just had to restart the stream because we did the actual quiz on Streamlabs, but we were getting bad audio problems after we finished, so I've swapped back onto StreamYards now just so we can have the discussion on this. It makes things a lot easier. Makes things a lot easier with the audio until I can get it sorted out. But yeah, I've been watching a couple of Bigfoot websites as well. It seems like the Bigfoot activity's picking up as well. It just seems like at the moment we're getting some kind of crescendo in the paranormal where everything seems to be ramping up.
Everything's happening.
Yeah. We've had some telecommunications across the world, but particularly here in Australia with all the banking infrastructure, ATMs and FPOSs went down the other day.
Really?
Yep. And you know how I monitor the solar flares?
Yep.
I think it was less than 14 hours earlier we had a major flare.
Mm-hmm.
So
I need to get that app that tracks the solar flares, because I was talking to Sam about this the other day, and you know, like spirit boxes and stuff, and it'd be interesting to see whether you get an increase in communication or a decrease in it.
I've been wondering that question for a while myself, funnily enough.
Oh, and the other news I forgot to tell you was Sam went to Rachel's the other day to do a spirit box session, and while she was setting the camera up, Cole came through the spirit box again.
Oh,
I forgot to tell you.
You're kidding?
Yeah. The name.
Whoa.
Sam said she missed it because she was literally setting up the camera as she was getting ready, and she'd got the spirit box on, and Cole came through while she was setting it up.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So it'll be interesting to see if we start to get any more.
Nothing about Zara or the kids? Just Cole?
No, Sam just said that the name Cole came through literally as she was setting the radio up.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So, see, because I found this happening years ago when... welcome back, Sam. I found this happening years ago when I used to do a lot of Ouija boards. You'd get certain communicators come through, and the more you communicated with them, and the more you actually dealt with them, the more the stronger their communication got. And I'm wondering, is a lot of this communication on... Welcome back, Luna. On spirit boxes and Ouija boards and stuff like that, is it more of a fact that it's us doing it and not, is it our minds generating it more so than outside influences with certain communicators?
Yeah, actually, a point that was brought up in one of our streams last week, and I was watching another YouTuber this week. He does a lot of stuff with the Ouija boards and all of that. And one thing he had come through the Ouija board and his spirit box, and that was, you're dead.
Yeah.
The same as we always hear it through the spirit box, you're dead.
Yeah.
I've had it once myself, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that there's something in that, something that needs exploring.
I'm not convinced we're just talking to dead people on spirit boxes, and the same with the Ouija board. I honestly think we're contacting a multitude of things.
Another dimension or something, maybe?
All sorts. I think we're probably contacting a multitude of things, not just dead people.
Yep.
Yeah, to me it's kind of strange, because this is a box. It's similar to the other box that I got, but straight off the bat, I says, when it was delivered to Rachel's house, I had to try it. So I turned it on anyway, and I says, "Where did the box come from?" And straight away it said Rob. Now I haven't put the recording up yet, but it was kind of weird that way. That the builder of the box is Rob Hernandez from the United States, thousands of miles away, and for it to come out with that was kind of weird, you know. And then we have these Ed, Dave, and Philip, and Dave and Philip are familiar with other ITC users, operators, and a lot of them agree that they're classed as technicians, techs, who control the communication between us and whatever we're communicating with. Now, there has been one or two ITC researchers who have asked about, do they use physical devices to communicate, and they got a yes. Yeah. So that is kind of strange that way. So, you know, we cannot rule out, you know, every single possibility, because the research is basically, it's only started. I mean, like the research into the multiple frequencies is only less than 20 years old.
Yeah.
You know, and we're going to try and, you know, people are trying to move forward with randomized sweep, possibly random bands as well, you know, band hopping and all that kind of thing, to you know, more randomize the frequencies that's coming out and stuff like that. So you know, all in all, what we're trying to move forward with is longer and more clear communication.
Yeah.
Do you know, rather than having a word or two words or a short sentence. You know, obviously we're trying to move forward in two-way communication, but you know, we are a long way off of this yet. You know, will it be radios in the future? Maybe not. You know.
Yeah. See, I was thinking the other day, like, if you believe in the parallel universe theory, the way that works is every time we make a decision, these universes split off to cover all the choices we could actually make. So when we're talking to people who we think are dead people and they're giving us accurate information, if we are tapping into a parallel universe, we could be talking to somebody who has lived pretty much the identical life to a loved one, and they would be our loved one in a parallel universe, but they didn't die at the time they did here and carried on living. You know, so everything they tell us about their past could have been exactly the same up until a point.
Yeah.
You know, where they died and, you know, it split again, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's come to a stage now where, you know, I do recording nearly every morning. I just turn it on for a chat, you know, rather than focusing, well, I do ask that question, but I feel awkward by asking it, you know?
Yeah.
It feels so personal and intrusive, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time I try to talk in a way, you know, how are you today? Was I talking to you yesterday? Blah, blah, blah. Do you know, sort of getting used to having a normal conversation and try to sort of maybe trick them into more information in a roundabout way and be more sneaky about it, if you know what I mean. Rather than being straight out, where are you? How are you communicating? How are you communicating through the radio? You know, are you dead? You know, those kind of questions I've been asking all along. Maybe we need a different approach to that. You know, you know, maybe communicate in a normal sort of way, like you were, you know, talking to another human being, and sneak that question in a kind of a way that they'd be sort of tricked into answering. But a lot of the time, you know, the fundamental questions, they don't seem to be allowed to answer them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the research.
That was interesting what Joanne put there. You know, possibly we're living in hell now. There are a lot of people who actually believe that. They believe that this is like death, and when we die, we pass on to real life, sort of thing. That the here is just a trial for the soul, sort of thing. You'd be surprised how many people actually believe that. I have put the link in the stream to anybody if you want to come up and chat. We've got space for 2 more. Feel free if you want to. You don't have to show your mug or anything. And nobody has to, but I've just put it there if anybody does want to come up and join the chat on anything.
Well, just to throw another element into that, we've often discussed privately and on Julie's and Brett's chat that we're actually an electric being having a human experience.
Coco.
So why are we not starting to ask questions around that? Because we're assuming we're talking to past humans.
Yeah.
What if we're really not?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're talking to a light being.
I genuinely believe we're talking to a multitude of things. I think we're not just communicating with the dead. I think we're talking to other things as well. Be they alternate realities, different dimensions, possibly even aliens for all I know. But I do believe that we're not just talking or communicating with dead people.
Well, according to George Meek, or I can't remember his name now, my brain has had a malfunction. But he believed in different levels of frequency where different levels of existence happen. And, he believed in different levels of afterlife where you start at a step and you move up the step. And when you get to a certain step, you can't communicate with the living anymore. But maybe that's
very similar to Buddhism.
Yeah, or maybe it's similar. Maybe there is other levels of existence and frequencies, but they're parallel universes to ours. They're still in an existence. It's similar to what I say. You turn on your television, you look at one channel, then you change it over to another channel. It doesn't mean that the channel you changed away from doesn't exist. It's still there.
Mm-hmm.
See,
that's interesting what C goes put there. That's another fascinating thing about the spirit box phenomenon. I've seen so many people get direct responses that purposely say they can't talk about certain subjects. Now, I believe that when it comes to talking to the dead, I believe there are, and I've said this before on the channel, there are natural laws in effect where they can't and won't, reveal certain things, because if they were revealed to the living, it would be catastrophic on this planet. If people got undeniable truth that they could die and go somewhere a lot nicer, the suicide rates on this planet would go through the roof. They would literally go through. We'd probably self-annihilate as a species. I think that's why these things are in place.
Another thing too, and I've kind of often bought into the fact that when we come here, we kind of have a soul contract that we come here to learn certain things or learn certain lessons or whatever. So if that's the case, and we come in here, they would be limited to the information they could give us, because we're here to kind of figure that out for ourselves. It's like playing a board game. You can't give the answers away before the end of a board game. You have to go through the steps.
But I actually think it goes much deeper than that. I think there would be mass suicide if anybody proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is life after death and it's a better existence. Millions they'd just end it.
Oh, of course they would.
Yeah,
millions of people would.
It's very interesting too that I'm starting to get evidence that there's an authority figure, and very often the authority figure is Dave or Philip, and it's come up with other people as well. So the information that we're getting could be communicated through an authority figure like Dave or Philip, but they control the information that we get.
Yeah.
Yes. That I would agree with.
Mm.
But also, what's Tesla's? I'm trying to think. It's still very early hours of the morning here. Frequency, sound, and energy. Is that how it goes?
What?
So why? I guess what hertz we listen to would be of a bigger consequence than we realise. And we've touched on it a number of times with ham radios, very much what Sam does. But why are we listening to like AM and FM when the real channel is yet to be determined, is where I'm going. And we only basically, but very basic level, touch on it from time to time, and then it skips because we're still randomly searching.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, frequency is just vibration.
That's the word.
It's known in physics that if things can vibrate at a fast enough speed, they would literally disappear out of this particular existence. Because they could either vibrate on an extremely high or an extremely low frequency that doesn't normally occur in this particular universe, and they could, who knows where you'd end up.
Well, exactly. Hence, segueing back in. Thank you, Luna. Yes, vibration, frequency, and electricity. I believe in an electric universe for many, many reasons. As I've said before. So how do we tap into that, and what would we need to use as a different methodology than AM, FM sweeps? What frequency and vibration from the planet would we need to tap into? And hence other topics we've touched on. Where would electromagnetic energy come into it, and where would ley lines come into it?
Well, this is what we don't know. We believe that there is a connection between what people define as spirits and electromagnetic energy. People do believe that.
Yeah.
And, there is some evidence to say that, things do happen around ley lines. And if you break us down, every matter, when broken down, is just atoms, electrons, neutrons, positrons.
Yeah.
We are all basic. Everything breaks down to energy in its simplest form. Matter is just another form of energy.
Correct.
So when we die, like we were discussing last week, that video I watched, that doctor who works in the ICU is an ICU expert. That's his speciality. He has said they have revived people who have been medically classed as dead for hours, and they have come back and described everything that's been going on around them while their body was dead. So you've got to be asking yourself, one, how are they seeing it, and two, where is this actual energy being stored before it returns to the body and kickstarts the brain again?
Well, when you mentioned that last week about that story, my first question in my mind was, what physiological and impact would that have on the body? Now, the brain shuts down after a certain short period of time through lack of oxygen, and yet this person came back with detailed knowledge of what had happened with no physical impairments whatsoever.
It ain't just one person. He says it.
Yeah.
He says it's happened that frequently in ICU. This is what triggered him to start this study 3 years ago. Well, and apparently they've been studying it now for 3 years.
If they're in ICU or in surgery, they're being fed oxygen through the machinery. But if it was someone that had an accident or something and came back 10, 20 minutes later, that's when you really question it, because that's when their brain gets starved from oxygen. And you would think that they would come back with adverse effects.
It's actually got nothing to do with oxygen. These people are actually clinically brain dead. There is no brain activity at all.
Ah, okay.
That's right. The brain's flatlined.
And that's what he said. They have actually revived people who have been dead not minutes but hours. They've brought people who've been dead a number of hours, and and there's no brain activity or nothing, and they've come back and they've explained everything that's been not only been done while they were dying, but what was done with the body after they died. Describe the people who came and moved the body, describe what procedures they did, this, that, and the other, and this was what's triggered this thing. And this doctor is absolutely baffled how a brain that he has got no electrical activity whatsoever, so it is dead. Where is this knowledge being stored until they actually come back and start babbling about what's happened to them? He also believes, because of the process of the brain dying, it's more common than people realize, and when they're brought back, because of the processes that go on chemically in the brain, they immediately forget about it. A lot of people.
Well, it's like a dream.
Yeah, he believes that it's pretty much standard to happen, but most people forget it because of the chemical reactions that go on in the brain. It was a fascinating video to watch, and he weren't a cook or nothing. He was a proper medical doctor, and he just said they had got absolutely fascinated with the amount of these people who would come back after hours.
That's the part that gets me. The hours, the time lapse between when the brain died and there's no signal to coming back and having no mental or cognitive impairment whatsoever. That was the part that I was fascinated by the most.
Talking about that, Luna, look at the ones who woke up in the morgue. I actually followed a story of a woman who's had that since childhood. And from what I can believe, this woman has died 3 or 4 times, and has it's some kind of medical condition she's got, and she physically dies, and then hours later wakes up in the morgue. Apparently 3 times that they've had to pull her out of the cabinets. She's died, and and they've stuck her in the morgue, and to the point now where if it happens, it's in a medical records. Keep a close eye on this woman in the morgue, because there's she's liable to come back within 4 or 5 hours. I think the longest she went was 6 hours before she woke up. She woke up in the middle of the night in the morgue the one night, locked in the cabinet, and she had to pick her way out.
Good golly.
You remember the famous story in history, and I can't remember whether it was a man or a woman who was buried and they came back to life, and she had a headstone and everything. I think it was a woman. And then died many years later, and she went down in history as being the person that had to be buried twice. I think it was a woman.
I believe it was. I have heard of that one.
There was a woman in Ireland actually that happened to.
It might have been Ireland.
I think it was in the UK somewhere during medieval times.
But the coincidences surrounding death are unbelievable. There's actually a famous case of a guy back in, I don't know whether it was the 17th or 18th century, and he was probably the 18th, or the 17th, and he had a duel with somebody in a field with guns, with muskets, and his rival shot at him and missed him, and the bullet embedded in a tree. And I think it was something like 10 years later, they were in the field. He was in his field, getting rid of the tree, and they blew it up with dynamite, and the bullet flew out and hit him in the heart. So the bullet that was meant to kill him 20 years earlier killed, and it's a true story.
God.
And it does make you wonder, are there certain things that are fated to happen to you, and no matter what you do, you ain't gonna, a bit like Final Destination type thing.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
I love those movies.
Is something like that actually in effect for some people? Because this guy was killed by a bullet that was meant to kill him 20 years earlier, and they literally blew the tree up with gunpowder, and the bullet flew out and killed him.
Yeah, there's a couple of different versions of that story. There was another version where the guy had an affair, and he was a cop. He was having an affair with the cop. His wife showed up, came home early, and in the argument, the wife got shot. The cop and the other cop that he was having an affair with ended up, settling down together in the house. But the friend fired a shot at him while he was cutting the grass, so he didn't hear it, and it lodged in the tree. And there was a heart in the tree of the cop and his wife. You know, one of them love heart things. His new partner didn't like the tree, so he went to cut it down with a chainsaw, and the chainsaw hit the bullet and lodged in his heart.
Yeah, that one where that guy was killed, that is a genuine, that is true.
Yeah,
that is actually recorded. Will you shut up? There's no need. She's allowed on the sofa. Stop it. But it does make you wonder in Destiny. It's like John just said there. They say it's chemicals in the brain, but as Brett says, if the person can describe what they saw when they died, it surely can't be down to brain chemicals. You've also got to ask yourself, if you're lying there with your eyes closed dead, how can you see what's going on around you anyway? You've got to be viewing it from another angle to know what's going on.
Yes.
Like an OBE.
Yeah. And I had an OBE when I was 14, 15. And there was no glowing tunnel or nothing like that. And I can't remember floating out my body. And I can't remember returning back to my body. But it was, I was unconscious for 24 hours. And it was literally like moments had passed. And I've got no recollection of either side of that Watson until I came round, because I passed out at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I think it was, and I came round at about 2:30 the following afternoon. But from what I can remember of that encounter I had, it was literally only about 5 minutes. But in that 24 hours, it didn't seem like that happened in the space of 24 hours. It was like I was suddenly at my friend's. Then I had this encounter with this ginger-haired woman. Then I woke up in an hospital bed, and that was how quick it happened. But in real life, there was a span of 24 hours went on while I was unconscious.
Extraordinary.
I wonder if they tried to have you forget what happened, on the other side of wherever it was you went to, but a piece of it stayed with you.
I've no idea, because like I said, there was no tunnel and there was no meeting relatives or anything like that. I just basically, 1 minute I was playing pool with my friend, the next minute I was lying in this bed feeling really, really tired, and this bloody ginger-haired woman at the desk got up and sat on my bed and kept shaking me and prodding me and telling me I couldn't get to sleep and I'd got to get up and leave. And I never even questioned it at the time. I never, it never even occurred to me that, from my perception, minutes before, I'd been playing pool with my friends. And then when I woke up in the hospital, it was like a natural progression. Literally, it just seemed to, 1 second I was with friends, the next I was in this really bright place with this bloody woman, and then I was waking up in an hospital bed. And it was unbelievable. And it was only after they told me that I'd actually died twice in the ambulance, and they shocked me back.
Jesus.
And I'm presuming that's when it happened. But there was no concept of 24 hours passing. It was literally instant.
Yeah.
It was a space, to me, it seemed like a space of a few minutes. But it was 24 hours between me passing out and me coming round again. Really weird. I just put out a video a couple of days ago. A video about what, Luna? But you hear of people who have these NDEs and they go floating around buildings and go through tunnels and they talk to all sorts of weird and wonderful people. I just got this really annoying ginger-haired woman who I swore at. So there's no way I'm going back to heaven if that's where it was, you know. But at the time, it was freaky because I never even questioned it. When this woman, the only thing I remember was this woman was annoying me like hell because I wanted to go to sleep, and she kept shaking me and going, you can't go to sleep. You've got to stay awake and leave. And that was what I kept telling me. And in the end, I just knocked her arm back and went, "Will you off?" was what I said to her. And then the next thing I know, I woke up in the hospital bed. That's all I remember of it.
That's so weird. Like, it spins me out when I hear stories about that because, yeah.
But there was
It's
no
almost
walls.
like it was...
Julie, there was no walls or nothing. It was literally just like floating in a gigantic, massive white space. But I was in a bed. I was literally lying in a bed, and there was a desk that she was sitting at when I first woke up in the bed, and she was sitting, and the desk was only about 4 or 5 feet away from the bottom of the bed off to the one side, and she was sitting with her back to me at the desk. And then when she noticed I was awake, that was when she came over and started shaking me, going, you can't go to sleep, you've got to get up.
Yeah, I agree
You
with
ain't allowed
Stephen's
to go to
comment.
sleep. That must have been what it was, Stephen.
Yeah.
But she kept doing it, and she kept doing it. And I was only 14, 15 at the time, and I just remember losing my rag because I was that tired and wanted to go to sleep. And I literally knocked her arm out the way, and I went, "Will you cough?" That was literally what I said to her. And then the next thing I know, I woke up, and my mother was sitting next to me, and I was, full of drips and stuff in an hospital room. But it literally happened in the space of seconds. Seagull says, I've had multiple near-death experiences, and honestly, I can't say I've had any unusual experience related to them. The only thing it's done to me is I ain't frightened of dying. I don't want to die horribly or nastily or anything like that, but I've got absolutely no fear of dying. Because I know a lot of people, I'm frightened of dying, but I've got no fear of death whatsoever. None.
No, neither do I.
Me either.
I think you get, a lot of us just get to that point where you're like, I don't know. I
But I've been like that since I was 14, Julie.
No, I haven't been like it for that long.
I woke up from that hospital, and I'd got no fear of death whatsoever. None.
No.
Because of that experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was weird. It was weird. But if it was some halfway house, they ain't letting me back in because I swore at her. And I was extremely rude to the woman. Because when I woke up, I actually apologized to the nurses, thinking I'd done it to a nurse, and then none of them knew what I was on about. And they said, "You've been asleep all night, you ain't been awake." And I was actually unconscious for just under 24 hours.
God.
But this bloody woman kept shaking me. And that was what annoyed me, was every time I was really tired, and I mean really tired. And every time I closed my eyes and tried to go to sleep, she grabbed me by the shoulders and shook me and said, "You can't go to sleep, you've got to stay awake, and you've got to go." That's what she kept telling me. I've got to leave. And I just lost my rag. And I remember knocking her arm away. And she was solid. And I knocked her arm away. And that was what I literally said to her, word for word. "Will you cough?" And that was what I said to her. And then the next thing I remember was waking up in the hospital bed. And that was it.
Joanne said she's probably the first person you're going to meet in the afterlife.
Well, you're planning going down where it's warm as well, Joanne. I'll probably meet her, more than likely. I'll be there with a cricket bat to keep me out.
I don't believe in hell.
No, I don't.
As they were saying before, if there's a hell, we're living it right now.
But all I can remember about the place was there was just nothing. There was no walls, there was no floor, there was no ceiling, there was no horizon. It was just like floating inside a giant light bulb, and it was brilliant white light, but it didn't hurt your eyes. That was what was weird about it. It was absolutely blinding white light, but it didn't hurt your eyes to look at it or nothing. I can't explain the light. It was just weird. It was just, nothing I've ever experienced. I nearly
I've
got it
heard
by a
that.
bus since. Go on.
I've heard that from a lot of people when they explain the other side. They're like, there's no floor, there's no walls,
There's
there's
nothing.
no nothing. It's just
There was nothing,
there.
Julie.
Yeah.
There weren't even an horizon. It was just literally everywhere. It was everywhere. There was no end to it. There was no
That's
like
a consistent theme.
there was no floor or ceiling to make an horizon. It was just like being inside a gigantic globe. Would be the best way of describing it, because there was no horizon.
It's very interesting that sometimes I ask, the communicators, are they in darkness or light? And they nearly always say light. And, you kind of wonder, where does the light come from? Does it come from the sun, or does it come from another energy? So I think that's pretty interesting.
Sam, that light I saw, it was not sunlight.
Yeah.
The closest I could describe it would be fluorescent lights. It was a cool blue light. It was proper white. It wasn't yellow, it was white. It was a proper Arctic blue light. It was, that dazzling. But the eyes.
Yeah, we've experienced the blue lights in our even in our houses, like. And and you'll have a blue tinge to it, like it's brightest white you can get.
And imagine being inside a gigantic whitewash ball is the best way of describing it. So there's no horizon, no floor, nothing. It's just all round you, and there is millions and millions of fluorescent lights surrounding you, but you can't see them. That is the best way I can describe it. It was dazzling.
Wow. So that's a consistent theme with anyone that comes back from a near-death experience.
Yeah, I've heard that quite a lot. Yeah.
I nearly got hit by a bus in Southampton. The driver stopped just in time and the bus ended up a few inches from my face. I froze in the road when it happened, couldn't move. I was rooted where I stood. It's fear. I'm sure if I had done in hindsight, the bus would have hit me. Yeah. I do believe that something will intercede. I believe that everybody's destined, your time is destined and you ain't going to escape it.
Yeah.
If you're, and that's why I think that, you get a lot of these reports where people say they're saved by what they class as guardian angels or angels. I think there's a mechanism there that actually, if it ain't your time, something's done to stop you going, sort of thing.
Everything's written.
Yeah.
Yep.
I ain't
Death
saying,
has a plan.
I ain't saying everything's fixed, but I do believe that things like your death are predestined. And regard, and if you're destined to die at a certain time, no matter how it happens, it will happen.
It's true.
No matter what you do.
It's like the butterfly effect. Every choice that you make can lead you on a different path, but the end result's still the same.
Yeah, but I think this is why certain things you ask on spirit boxes, they're very cagey about, because there's things that we're not supposed to know on this side, and and they will go out of their way to make sure we never know them. I do genuinely believe that. I crossed the dual carriageway when I was a teenager. I had music on my headphones and was looking at the floor as I walked. Idiot I was back then. Yeah.
Weren't we all?
See, I've had a couple of lucky. Well, I've had 3 lucky escapes. I nearly drowned when I was 12, and one of the neighbours pulled me out, and I was, about to go under for the 3rd time when he saved me. Then when I was 14, I had that episode where I got spiked, and they had to resuscitate me in the ambulance twice. And then I had the heart attack last year, and that was a bad one. But each time, I'm convinced that I'm being kept here for a reason, to torture people, probably on YouTube. But you know, I'm convinced. I am honestly convinced that, you know, I'm being kept here for a reason, because I've had a few very close scrapes with death, very close, and I'm still here. So I mean, you know, I'm here to torture somebody.
I've had a couple of minor accidents, but I can't say that I've ever had anything like that. I've never had an experience that I can think of where I was close to dying.
Mm-hmm. Well, I actually died. I actually died twice in the ambulance.
Yeah,
I was I was classed as clinically dead, and they had to badump me with a whatever defibrillator or whatever it is they call it. And they had to do it twice in the space in the space of 10 minutes, I think it was.
You know, the one thing that amazed me about you was the last time when you were telling us about your heart and the way that your heart has adapted to keep you alive. That blew my mind.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I've actually grown arteries around the blockage. But they're a lot smaller, but there's a lot of them apparently. So a bit like a spaghetti junction around the blockage.
Yeah. That is amazing.
Very much so, Joanne. Very much so. And he's still smoking.
Yeah. Yeah. I did stop for 4 months and started again through stress. And I've got to the point now where I want to stop again.
Yeah, last time
it seems to be fours with me, because the last time I packed up smoking, it was for 4 years. Well, the time before was for 4 years, and then this time was for 4 months. It seems to be fours with me where smoking's concerned.
Yeah.
Well, 4 comes up in the communications a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. See, Luna's just been talking about, you know, some being it and only having a cut eye. I do genuinely believe if it ain't your time to go, you don't go. Simple as.
Mm-hmm. I remember years ago, I went through pretty heavy depression, and I was driving out of town one day when there was a young man on the side of the road, and he was tumbling a lift, and I just flew past him. And then about a mile down the road, something was telling me, you need to go back and get that guy. And next thing, I just jammed on the brakes, turned around, picked up the guy, and the guy says, do you know me? And I go, no, I don't. Well, he says it's a great day and all the rest of it. And I was all negative. This is happening, that's happening, all the rest of it. And he says, well, you know, life will get better. And I says, I don't know. And I was really, really negative back then. And then he says, do you know me? And I says, no. He says, do you remember the guy that it was rumored around town that he died a couple of weeks ago, and he was in a coma for, I can't remember how long it was. He was in a coma for a long, long time after a car accident. And I says, yeah. He says, well, he's not dead. You're talking to him. Do you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And he says, you're caught up in so much negativity right now that you do not value your life. And I nearly lost mine.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, for some reason, something I just in my head, stop, go back and get that guy.
Yeah. Sam, I genuinely believe that there are certain people throughout your lifetime, for good or for ill, that you are destined to meet for a reason.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have a positive impact on your life, and sometimes they have a very negative impact on your life. But I believe that there are certain people that you have to meet in your lifetime for a reason. I genuinely believe that.
It was a bit like Scrooge, you know?
Yeah.
To the ghost of Christmas past or whatever, and the ghost of Christmas future. I mean, like, that kind of turned my life around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, You know, he described the accident. He described going into a kind of a state where he says, I'll tell you one thing. He says, heaven exists and God exists and God loves you and all the rest of it. And I ended up in tears. I ended up pulling over to the side of the road. I couldn't drive any further.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But I don't know what was putting that voice in my head saying, stop, stop, stop. This is a mile down the flipping road. Go back and get that guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I do genuinely believe there are certain people in your life that you have to encounter. And no matter what you do, you'll encounter them for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, there's people out there who are there for life lessons, basically. And I genuinely believe that. You know, because I've met people in my life I know I have to meet them for good or for ill.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to learn things from.
Absolutely. We could probably all sit here and rattle off quite a few that we've learned along the way.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's one in particular that I wished I hadn't have, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. We all have a few of them.
Yeah.
But you learn from every experience, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and when people give you negativity and their negativity towards you, you know, you've got a choice either to take it or leave it with them.
And this is the thing, Sam. This is what I always say. You know, the only time that you have the power over negativity, you choose to accept the negativity or you choose to move on from it.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Yeah,
you know, you are captain of your own ship, regardless of what anybody else tries to do. Only you can choose to let them do that to you.
Yeah,
nobody's got power over you in any way, shape, or form. No one.
Yep, exactly.
Agree.
Right, Sam, do you want to start this box off and we'll see what we get?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to open up and just invite whatever wants to come in. This is a similar box to the other box, but it's a sort of a new version, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And it might sound a little bit different. I don't know. You'll be able to tell me, you know. But this was the first session was done on this yesterday, so it's basically fresh. Let's see now. We just have to check that the sound is okay, that the volume is okay. How are we for sound?
Fine.
Good.
Right. If there's anyone that wants to come through tonight, feel free to do so. I have a screen in front of me, and I've got 3 of my friends, and they'd love to talk to you. So anybody wants to come through,
just chuck your channel link up, Deb.
How do I do that?
Just go to your channel. Julie will do it.
I'll do it.
Julie's quick with them.
Oh, I reckon.
There you go.
Speed freak, that one. I'd only start thinking about it, and she's probably already done it.
Yeah, there'll be somebody out there, Jack, who's meant to help him. It may not be you. It could quite easily be somebody else.
Yeah.
Don't say Brett.
Probably they always want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Bugger off, I ain't coming back yet.
I won't repeat that.
Is Dave or Philip here tonight that wants to help us out with this? Or anybody I spoke to before?
Is there anybody here who's got a message for anybody here tonight? Be it people who are talking or the people who are on the screen chatting. Joanne said she heard laughter.
Mm.
Not happy with the amount of
Get
reverb.
Brett. That sounded like something hissing then.
It's running too quick for my liking, actually. With this mode. Seems to be. Ameni's here.
Like I said, is Anne.
That's what I thought. Like it was a sentence.
Anne again.
And again.
Who's Anne?
Robert.
It also sounds like a pissed off tomcat in places as well.
Yes, it does.
Can you hear us and see us?
It's probably my end, Miss Q. Dawn's approaching and the kookaburras and the birds are out.
Or one of Julie's psycho birds.
I put mine out in the other room, so they.
Hey.
Can we do this in short bursts, finishing in about 5 minutes? I'll come off, try and reset it, see if I can get it any clearer.
Or do.
Come back again.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with, Sam.
It was a really clear hello then.
Mm.
Could you see any of the people on the screen and could you see their names? I've got Brett, I've got Julie, and I've got Deb.
Money.
And they're my friends. Would
Money.
you like to talk to them?
That's say money.
Money.
If you can hear me right now, can you say any of their names?
Ask the spirit world if they want to send me some money. I'll accept ghost checks.
Where are you going to cash that in?
Yeah,
I sound like Joe.
Yeah. I got out today and I got a bit of exercise, so Miss Q, I'm feeling a little bit better.
I could.
Matches?
She's been cruising on the beach, Miss Q. I'll tell you.
Could you tell me who made my radio?
Albert.
That sounds like Albert.
Yeah.
Albert, yeah.
She went looking for buff Irishmen in Speedos today, Joanne.
No, I didn't.
We call them budgie smugglers over here.
Yeah.
Speedos.
That definitely said Albert.
Hmm.
Sound like Steph.
Steph.
North.
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 20.
Direct.
Direct.
I think so.
And Manny's talking to us right now.
Today.
What the shit today? I'm not sure about that.
That definitely sounds like a cat spitting.
Duns.
Dunce? Was that directed at me?
I was called an idiot yesterday.
Well, dunce is exactly the same thing.
Yeah. I asked, "What's my name? Can you say my name?" It says idiot.
Five.
Did that 5 come from Sam or the radio?
5 could be repair you. 5 could be the amount of communicators communicating. Sometimes you get the answer pretty late, like.
Looking for.
Painful.
What's painful?
Just a go.
Just ask questions for a couple of seconds. I need to give the dog a treat because she's been annoying me.
Yeah, Kai keeps trying to coax me into letting her out.
Yeah.
Jackie says it feels normal this week, not like last week's session on your channel, Brett. Why? What did it feel like last week, Jack?
It's on.
It's on.
It's on. Yeah.
It's on.
Yeah.
Right.
Shut the toilet door, Sam.
Your spirit wedding their letters. Oh.
Oh, dear.
Jack says freaky communication. This is the beauty of the paranormal. You never know what you're going to get.
Could be anything.
Hi.
Isn't it?
Can any of you tell us where you are?
Isn't.
That sound now that is the third time I've heard that word, and it sounds like it's saying isn't.
Yeah, I wasn't sure it isn't or prison.
Glass. Communicate to finish this sentence if you
Miss
can.
Q.
I on a hill is a lonely goat. If that's his heard now, I'm going to laugh.
I thought I heard a chuckle come through the box then, actually.
See, arse is a very Irish thing to say.
I see it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely sounded like isn't to me, Jack, rather than isn't.
You.
You? Was that you?
Yes.
I need your name.
Is there somebody here who wants to talk to me?
Did that say what I thought it said?
Right.
Devil.
Thought I heard that.
I weren't sure whether it said
Shit.
devil or kettle.
I didn't want to say it though.
It's a shit or ship.
Does the devil want to talk to me? You're going to be here all night if you're going to list all my wrongdoings.
Do you have
Was it-
orange hair?
He wants to take you on as a Desmond.
Yeah. He's offering me a job as a Desmond. Are there any of my family here who would want to communicate? Can you name one of my family who's passed over?
Uncle.
Uncle?
Is that you, Sam?
No.
No, that was the box.
No, that was the box.
Calling old Desmond.
And
Which uncle? Can you give me the name of the uncle, please?
sit.
Can you give me the name of my uncle that my family always connect to me?
You and
There is a story that a lot of my family believe that connects a particular uncle to me for a reason. Can you give me his name?
What is it? No.
Can you repeat what you just said? Because it was very close.
Agree with you, Luna.
as well.
Okay. Can you tell me, in relation to the uncle, what it is my family say regarding him and me?
Gary. To become.
Did that just say to become?
To something, and I don't
It sounded like to become. And I'll tell you why I just asked that question, because there are a few members of my family on both my mother's and my dad's side who insist that I am my dad's brother reincarnated.
Oh.
And they insisted. My grandmother used to. My mother's mother used to insist it. She was very fond of my dad's brother, and she always used to say it. But there's family members on my dad's side who say it as well.
Wow.
Wow.
Not only do we apparently look identical, we behave exactly the same way. And he was considered the black sheep of the family of that generation.
And you're of this generation.
Mm-hmm.
Escape.
Let's say Pontifact.
Balls.
That sounded like balls. Miss Q says, I'm a spitting image of my mother down to a freckle on my left ring finger. Hi, Elizabeth.
We stop this one and have a couple of minutes of a conversation and try and clear up the. I want to balance the volume a little bit, see if we can get it clear.
Summer.
We're going to finish this one. Talk to you in a minute.
It definitely said balls, Jack. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I say.
I say.
Is Ed or Dave or Philip here?
I heard Dave earlier.
Walter's here. I think I talked to Walter before, actually. Walter, are you here? Say hello if you're here.
East.
It sounds like Sam.
An angel.
Angel?
Angel.
Sarah.
Demon.
Demon.
Sarah.
Sarah, then demon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clyde.
So we got Angel, Sarah, demon.
Whip.
Do you know I don't believe in either?
Well. Theory.
Zara.
Fear of dark.
That's what, and it said it twice.
Freedom. Must. Slack.
What's what?
Campus.
Marie.
Was that you, Sam?
No.
Yeah, Miss Q, I thought it said Sarah too, and that has relevance to the Phillips experiment.
Yeah.
Oh, is that one of the children? It is one of the children.
That's one of the
isn't it?
children. One of the girls.
Ah. Do you
Yeah,
know
it's one
the
of the
other
girls.
I thought it was Susan and Jennifer.
No.
Sarah, Jennifer, Alexander?
Yep.
Did that say Australia?
Yes.
I thought
I
so.
got a good day on the first session with this box yesterday, actually, as a greeting. Good day.
Do you know you're talking to Australians right now?
Can you say g'day?
I thought it said Struth.
Can you say fair dinkum?
Fair dinkum.
Gooey gobber.
Yeah.
Aussie.
Aussie?
Yeah.
I think I'll leave this on.
No, Australians are haunting
It's a haunting Sam.
Wonder if they can tell us what animal Dad was made into.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm
I
afraid
have
of
no
breaking
idea
this.
what an old school Aussie accent sounds like. They all sound the same to me, Miss Q.
I'm afraid of stopping this now.
Yeah.
Whiskey.
Did that say whiskey?
Whiskey, yes.
I think that's the second time it said that.
Yeah. You realise that we've had the wife and all three of the children's names tonight, don't you?
Wait, have we had Alexander?
I thought I heard it earlier, but we've had Sarah and Jennifer and Zara. So the wife and the two girls.
Enjoyed it. Dave. Rick.
Did you see Julie picking her nose then and rolling it into a little ball and dropping it when nobody was looking?
No.
I did.
Nexus.
Did that say Nexus?
Had it.
I thought it did.
Do you know?
That would be right. Aussie go over to Ireland where they died to get whiskey.
Don't know. Will we give it a couple of minutes break?
Yeah.
See if we can
You
clear
do
it
what,
up.
Miss Q? Pick your nose and roll it into little balls.
Right, be back in a second. Just chat amongst yourselves for a second, and I'll be back in a minute. See if I can clear this up a little even clearer. Right, back in a sec.
Okay,
Okay, mate.
And you're admitting to it on a live stream. Oh, and now Nightbot's got her. You're on mute, Julie. Come back.
She's talking to
That
the
was
kids. They're obviously...
that was interesting because why would you be getting the word Australia on an Irish, in Ireland?
Yeah.
It's not the sort of thing you're liable to hear. There's no major Australian news going on at the moment, is there? None that I know to.
No, we haven't had
nothing compelling.
Small COVID cases, but nothing outbreaking or all that,
Yeah. The only thing I saw about Australia that was on the news the other day was they were moaning that Australia had wasted 90 billion on a submarine scheme or something. And it's turned out it's a con.
Okay.
And the Australian government have blew $90 billion on it.
Sounds like our government.
I'm presuming it's 90 billion Australian dollars. Yeah, he was in Cornwall with the rest of them.
Oh, he was
They
too.
can bloody keep him.
Yeah, they had a photo of Scott shaking hands with your Prime Minister, Boris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Queen cut the cake with a sword.
Oh, that was funny.
You left the door open. We play handball. Play handball.
Shame muted. Kyle, I'll let you out in a minute when Sam comes back. I'll let you out in a minute.
Oh, hello, Kaya.
Standing there singing.
You can see her just over your name. She was staring at you.
Kaya. What are you doing? Come here then. Come here then. Come here then. It's no good running off. What's this? What's this?
Hello, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Right, I'm going to run to the loo while you talk. I'll be back in a sec because I am peeing myself. Back in a second.
Okay.
Right. What I did there was I actually changed the speaker because I think there was too much low tone. You know, too much reverby tone. Even I turned the reverb down. So I changed the speaker and maybe we can get something clear coming up. But certainly there was a couple of interesting things came up on that one. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, it might take a little bit to get this box sort of, you know, up to the standard of the other one because it was just being built and shipped. I only received it yesterday, so you know.
Yep.
So we've gotten Zara tonight and the two girls.
Did Zara come through too?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
Oh.
And a couple of Australian references.
Yeah, and Sarah and Jennifer.
And Jennifer. All right. I'm keeping note of it all.
Yep.
Jennifer. And Australia, which is close to New Zealand.
And
it is indeed.
Good day yesterday, which I can prove. I just haven't put the session out yet.
Yep.
That's okay. Well, I might duck off myself and make a fresh warm coffee because this one's gone cold and it's a bit too chilly.
Okay.
So I'll make a warm coffee and I'll mute myself.
Yeah, it's an interesting box. This, you know, it's what's happening is there is a there's a sweep circuit in it, and when you go on beyond fast sweep, you get this mode where just nothing very much comes out except sort of a random word, and very often, time after time, I was getting hits on, answers to questions.
Mm-hmm.
Names I was asking for to come up, and that. Just a very, very interesting mode, really, really interesting,
Yep.
With this particular box, the difference between this one and the last one is that there's a separate switch to turn off the speaker on the Spurt box itself, so it'll run straight through to an external, or you can have the other speaker running as well, and that is a little toggle switch right at the top here,
Yep.
So basically, a fabulous box. I mean, like, you get some custom built boxes, and you'll get excess noise. I had one in a few weeks ago. It was an Arduino circuit, and it was really, really noisy. But the reason why I bought a second one of these is because I used the other one so much, and I wanted to take a bit of the strain off the other box, basically, because I do sessions constantly with this other box.
Yeah.
So to kind of give that one a break, I decided to put two of them into the mix, and this is so it's less strain on the electronics,
Yep. I understand the fascination with it though, because when you first started using it on our streams, it took me a little while to hear the difference in your box compared to like the PSP7, which is what I use, but it's so much clearer and you don't get all that white noise in the background.
Yeah.
Hey, Noah!
The actual FM circuit is actually a PSP 7 FM circuit board.
Yeah.
With the white noise removed of it. The white noise is actually artificial. It can be removed. Oh, cool. We talking.
Make sure you keep the door closed.
Have you had a good enough look now?
Okay. Does she get hair all over you, Brett?
Yeah, she's glowing at the moment.
Yeah.
The joys of a double-coated breed.
Oh, she's beautiful, though.
You wouldn't say that if you owned her. She literally is the devil in disguise.
Yeah.
They are extremely spiteful and dramatic.
I'm allergic to furry animals. I get sinuses and sneezing and bleh.
So you got birds.
I love them.
Birds are the worst. Parrots are the worst thing. They shed dander all the while.
Yeah, I'm not too bad with the birds though. So every time I go to my dad's, because my dad has a long-haired Chihuahua, every time I go to my dad's, I end up getting stuffy in the nose and that. I don't know. Yeah, it's just something with the fur.
I actually heard a cure, and it's a bit extreme, but apparently it works for hay fever today.
Did you?
Yeah, basically you go out once a week and sting yourself on nettles.
Oh, and stinging nettles.
Yeah, and apparently it stops pollen affecting you.
Okay.
I know it's extreme, but apparently it works.
How long do you have to do it for?
Just sting yourself. Just stick your hand in nettles and sting yourself once a week.
Once a week.
Would nettle soup not be a cure then? So
I can't touch anything with nettles in because I used to like nettle tea. But if you once you've got an heart condition, it's dangerous for your anything with nettles in.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Same with bananas. I've got to, I have to be careful with bananas because they got a lot of potassium in them. Potassium's good for the heart until you've actually had an heart attack, apparently, and then it's not so good.
Wow. Okay.
Have you managed to adjust the box, Sam?
What we done was we actually changed the external speaker because I think there was too much bass on the other speaker.
Yeah.
So I thought I would tone it down a bit. It might be a wee bit more clear, I did reset it and that. So, do you want me to turn it back on?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, Luna. Japanese Shibas are double coated like Huskies. So basically, you have to. People always say, "How often does Kaya shed?" And I always say twice a year, 6 months at a time, because they literally never stop.
How's volume?
Fine. Where's Deb gone?
To get a coffee. Is that you doing that?
Bye. Yeah.
Can you come back and talk to us?
Sorry, Sam. You can have a sweet in a minute.
Were you making toy noises again?
No, it's dead.
How is he?
Did that say how is he?
Don't know if it says how do you talk. Many can come through and talk to us tonight. And many can still come through.
I forgot to have a shave before we started. I look like a bloody lumberjack.
Vamos.
You're muted, Julie. Do you know, Joanne, what's really interesting? We get 4 a lot through the spirit box.
Yeah, all the time.
And especially when me and Sam are together. We get the number 4 constantly.
Yeah.
Easy.
Welcome back, Jack. There's definitely some significance to the number 4, Luna, because we get it a lot.
There's a dead bird next to it.
Funny enough, some ITC researchers reckon that when they hear 7, they reckon 7 is actually a communicator, a name of a communicator.
Julie, it ain't a problem. The kid's talking.
Yeah, they're just being very loud.
Yeah, but it ain't a problem. Fine.
They got a friend over. They had a
Don't worry
friend
about
sleep
it.
last night.
Kids are kids.
All right.
Sounds clearer on that speaker, Sam.
Yeah, a lot clearer.
Is it overly loud? Was it
No,
extremely
it's fine.
I think it's louder than the other one. It's good.
It's up extremely loud, but it's actually peaking a bit. Can I bring it down a bit?
If you want to, yeah. See, I'd like a sleepover with Vin Diesel.
They haven't had one for a while, so. Fickle?
Puddings.
Did I say puddings?
Puddings.
Right.
Brett?
Brett? Does somebody want to speak to me? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Boy.
Boy. Oh, you're telling me off. You're 40 years too late to call me boy.
Is that what it said? It said boy.
Yeah. What was that?
That was the other speaker turning off. Sorry.
I
Oh,
was say sound like a guitar amp. What's wrong?
That's the sound of the JBL speakers turning off.
So
Have I spoken to you yesterday by any chance?
She ain't got the SWEET she wanted, so now she's pretending to be dead by the side of the chair.
Dan.
Dan.
Dan. Yeah.
I'm here.
Gone.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Shelley.
Down. Oh.
I don't know if Julie's watching the chat, Shelley.
Where?
Yeah, because I said hello to her, so she said hello back.
Let's say go.
Yep.
Go where? I think she's took the kids to the pool.
Oh, there she is. What? When you quiet.
Just say channel. Julie?
Julie.
This.
Would someone like to talk to me?
Many.
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 Manny. Oh,
Many.
Yeah.
well, I'm listening if you'd like to talk.
Does Legion want to talk to Julie?
No. No, Desmond. Hello.
Pitch.
Like a.
This is Julie.
Bit of a whisper came through there. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Have you noticed we've had quite a few religious words come through tonight? We've had angel, devil, demon. Any goat herders? You're obsessed with goat herders, Miss Q. Wicked.
As a.
Has
That sounded like it said as if.
It's okay.
Proper.
I'm back. My computer turned off. I thought it said it's okay, Luna.
Can you tell me you associated with any country, city, or town?
Darban.
Three.
Water.
Water.
Yeah.
That's been a theme tonight. I mean, throughout.
Water. Yeah. What's the water in significance to?
That sounded like a yeah, an Australian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Joe beating an idiot
Yeah,
in your
mate.
realm?
It's Joe
It was
Biden.
an answer to my question, but I was looking for a specific country or city. Can you tell me a country or city that you can associate with?
That you can.
Muslim.
No, it isn't flipping German now.
That was 4 fast responses.
It
That
was.
wasn't English. Sounded like German.
It certainly ain't me. I don't like bourbon.
That's it, protect.
I thought
That sounded like listen. What do you want us to listen to?
In a whisper. That's the third time this week.
Hello.
Who says love you?
Hello?
I want to find out who says love you.
Can you?
Because I've got that 3 times this week. Can you tell me who you are right now, please?
Jackie's now accidentally activated caps lock while trying to keep the computer running.
Kill it.
Kill him.
could
Did I
or
say
good.
kill him?
I thought it said kill something. Yeah.
Yeah. Kill who?
Sin.
Who do you want to kill? Sam, that really sounds like your voice. Keep coming through.
I
Did that
know.
say Dave?
Do
Is
the
that Dave?
Don't know.
yes.
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 I've no idea, Joanne. Sammy's killing a place in Ireland.
No, I don't know.
Let me have a look.
Excited.
Yep. It is in County Tyrone in Northern Ireland.
Love.
Love.
Who do you love?
Me.
Clown.
Oh, Morticia.
Before it.
I sounded like Eden.
I thought it said hidden.
Hidden.
Can you name the friend that you named during the week?
Jenny.
Jenny.
No, not Jenny. I don't know any Jenny.
Short for Jennifer.
I was just thinking, what's that? When one of the girls, Jennifer.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the third time it comes through. Jenny.
Now we've got an opera singer.
Oh.
Spirit.
Another name. Edge. Right.
Isn't
We
he
don't
the
want to talk
guitarist
to Ed.
with- Oh, Ed.
Yeah,
He said Ed's.
if Ed starts, he won't stop.
We done.
You're done.
You're
done.
Very good.
Who's done?
Can you name any of the other people speaking to you right now?
Ed.
Ed.
Who's me?
Leslie. He's here.
Wesley?
Leslie is here.
Alfred.
Did you say Wesley?
Alfred,
Alfred.
again.
Yeah.
Again.
Yes. Wesley is the name of the mechanic who fixed my car.
Is he good looking, Sam?
I wouldn't be able to say. But I can actually prove.
90.
I can't actually because the phone number is on there. But seriously, Wesley is the name of the guy that fixed my car. Wesley.
Who is Alfred? Alfred's been mentioned twice tonight. Who's Alfred?
My dad's got a dog called Alfred.
Ooh.
That sounded like see you next Tuesday.
Funny enough, I don't get many Desmonds on my recordings.
You've had them all mentioned tonight. You've had angel, demon, and devil. Day to
Yeah.
go slow.
Don't get them often, like.
Wouldn't it be good if we could get the box to call demons Desmonds?
Yeah.
Option.
I thought,
Is there any Desmonds here?
didn't
Can you say
Desmond come up
Desmond
last
if there's
week?
any Desmonds?
Isn't it?
It just said it.
Hey?
It just said it. Desmond.
It sounded like Desmond.
I've never got them to say Scooby-Doo. I've tried so many fucking times. Do you have a habit of copying you know?
It's in there.
If you can hear me right now and you want to communicate with me, the code word is Scooby-Doo. Could you say
Desperately
Scooby-Doo if
seeking
you can hear me right now? Yes?
Sorry?
Oh, go on. I'm waiting.
Put it on.
See, now that shouldn't happen. That was exactly the same voice, spaced apart. With the speed that's scanning, you shouldn't be hearing the same voice side by side.
The
like
theory
that.
is that actually the radio isn't scanning, it's overclocking.
There they are.
Hello.
Hey there. Hey there.
Any chance of you seeing Scooby-Doo?
Scooby-Doo.
We love you.
Ruby-roo.
Shaggy?
Raggy?
If it comes out with Scooby-Doo, I will choke my tea right now.
Oh.
Because I'll be fucking shocked.
Right.
God, this cat of mine.
Do you like communicating with us, or are we a complete pain in the ass?
Evening.
That's how, isn't it?
I thought it said internet.
But in top.
I did.
Yeah.
I will fall off my perch.
I'm sorry we're asking stupid questions. We're trying to understand what we're communicating with. We're trying to understand you, and we're trying to learn. Do you understand this?
What colour t-shirt am I wearing?
I think it said blue straight off the bat.
Is there?
Never would.
If they get it right, I'm going to ask what colour underwear Julie's wearing.
We make it fish.
How do you know there's anything there? Joking.
Bloody Nilla. It's only 9 degrees.
That's pleasantly warm.
Not in
Is that
Australia,
in
mate.
Ted. Right.
Tad.
Hey,
It's foggy here. You can't even see the end of the street.
Geo.
Do you like the new teddy bear I got? Got
That's
today.
no problem.
Can you see that teddy bear? Could you tell us what colour it is?
Cooler.
Eric's.
Betty. I wonder if we'll get Barney as well.
Ooh,
Well, that ain't good, Deborah.
no.
Yes.
Yes, what?
You've loads of people listening to you. You've got Deborah. You've got Jackie. You've got Lunar Eclipse. You've got Miss Q.
Who wants to talk to goat herders for some strange reason?
Mm.
Well, that's ironic because our Cole is a shepherd. He's a sheep herder.
Ooh, yeah, sheep herder.
Mm.
Miss Q wants to talk to Scooby Doo.
It's supposed to come to me in Indiana. We don't get tropical storms in the UK.
We don't get tropical, never mind.
we
storm.
get Arctic storms instead.
Excuse me.
That sounded like Deb. That sounded like your voice then.
I don't know it's sounding like me, but I thought it said Deb too.
Hold on.
You know,
That sounded like it said bad, and then somebody laughed.
What exactly was bad, though?
Welcome back,
Not
Jazz.
me. Not me, I'm a saint.
Pure as the driven snow, me.
Yeah.
The person who mentioned Childer, did you die in a hotel fire?
Fred.
Yes.
92.
Did you get that? It said yes to that
Yes.
question.
Robert 9.
It wouldn't. We're going to have to start wrapping this up in a bit because we've been going for 3.5 hours, believe it or not.
Yeah.
England.
Somebody's getting messages
It'll be Joyce, told you.
of the internet kind.
Purple.
Purple what?
Purple.
Prank Sumption was called the Purple Princess, apparently by Grace.
The Purple Princess.
Yeah.
Smell?
Sam.
Oh,
Yeah, it did say
The-
Sam.
7 of the backpackers that were killed at the Childers hostel fire were from the UK.
Were
7
they?
of the 15, yeah.
Right, Sam, do you want to start winding it down?
Yeah. Okay. We want to thank you for talking to us tonight if you have.
Purple people eater.
Brett, Julie, and Deb, and myself would like to thank you and all the people in the chat our communications would like to thank you for communicating with us. If you have.
Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you for talking.
Can I speak to you tomorrow? Would it be okay?
I'll laugh if one of these nights they turn around and go, no, pee off.
They done that to Rachel one time.
Did they?
Yeah. They didn't tell her to pee off. Would anyone like to come through? And they went, no. I done that in a little. I called it the shortest spur box session ever.
Yeah. I edited the one investigation we went on. And I asked a question and the answer just snapped back, no. It was actually me intro video for a while. And it was literally instantaneous and perfectly clear.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what Rachel got as well. Right, I'm going to
I thought I heard it too.
Well, that fire was deliberately lit.
Thank you for coming, Luna, and you have a good night.
Yeah, we're going to turn the radio off now, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, Luna.
Right, I'm going to turn off now.
Okay. Right, well, I'd like to thank Sam and Julie and Deb for coming on the panel tonight. And a big thank you to everybody in chat who come in and talk. And especially to everybody who came in and did the Are You Psychic quiz, because they're always a lot of fun. Sorry about the audio going a bit icky at the end, but I'll try and get that sorted out for next time. We've got a month. You know, you do make this channel what it is with all your comments and the laughs we have. So wishing you all a good night. Stay safe, and we will see you either tomorrow on Julie's stream, if you're Australian or English and up on time. And if not, we'll see you next Friday on this stream again. Or possibly, are you doing one next week, Deb?
I am.
25th.
Friday. 25th. So if anybody wants to jump on and subscribe to Funky Deb, I'm doing my premiere live stream next Friday.
Cool.
Look forward to seeing you.
I'll stick that on the Facebook group. Right. So have a good night, everybody. Thank you all. Stay safe. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.